a name that goes way beyond bodybuilding. A man who turned pain into power and limits into pure inspiration. His journey is built on discipline, artistry, and resilience. A story that proves it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you're willing to go. Today, you're going to dive into the life of a true icon of the sport, someone who won fans all over the globe and left an eternal mark both on stage and off. So you know the drill. Grab your pre-workout and come with us, because what you're about to hear might just change the way you look at dedication, sacrifice, and victory. Kai was born on July 12, 1975, in Brooklyn, New York, one of the toughest and most intense neighborhoods in the city. From a very young age, his life was marked by hardship. At just 6 years old, he was removed from his family and placed under state custody, spending the next decade bouncing between foster homes and juvenile institutions. That unstable environment, filled with uncertainty, shaped his character and forced him to face the world way too early. Can you imagine what it's like growing up without a steady home and without strong family role models? That lack of structure made Kai feel constantly out of place. In schools and foster homes, his behavior was often labeled as problematic. Dealing with childhood trauma wasn't easy. Many times, his rebelliousness was just a way to cope with feeling excluded. But in the middle of all that chaos, something powerful began to grow, the desire to change his reality. And this is where he first came into contact with what would transform his life forever: bodybuilding. As a teenager, Kai discovered that weights could be so much more than just iron bars. The gym became his escape, the place where he could unleash his frustration while also shaping a new future. With every training session, his strength grew, and with it, his confidence. What for others might have been just exercise was, for Kai, a sanctuary. Picture a kid with no permanent home, but who finally found control of his own life inside the weight room. A turning point came in 7th grade when his English teacher noticed something few others did. He saw that Kai had an impressive physique for his age, and that he could channel this advantage into something positive. Instead of writing him off as just another troubled student, that teacher saw a potential champion. He encouraged Kai to enter teen bodybuilding competitions. A small gesture, but one that completely changed the course of his life. In the documentary Kai, 2022, the athlete revealed an even deeper side of this face. He explained that he started training not just for sport, but to avoid looking like a victim in detention centers. In a hostile environment, a strong body meant respect and protection. On top of that, an unexpected gift: a copy of the new Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding by Arnold Schwarzenegger gave him not only inspiration but also helped him improve his reading skills. A powerful detail that shows how bodybuilding was, literally, a school of life for him. Those teenage years didn't just shape Kai's body, they reshaped his mind. He realized bodybuilding was more than muscles. It was discipline, self-confidence, and above all, a path to escape the destiny society seemed to have written for someone with his background. The troubled foster kid was slowly turning into a young man who dreamed of stages, trophies, and recognition. And it makes you wonder, how many young people in similar situations find in sports or art the key to changing their lives? Kai's adolescence was nothing short of transformative. While other kids were still figuring out who they were, he was already standing out with a physique that defied his age. His early dedication to training caught attention in youth competitions, where he often dominated with ease. Imagine a teenager not even 20 yet, stepping on stage and beating older, more experienced athletes. It was just the beginning of a journey that would only grow stronger with time. In 1994, at just 19, Kai scored his first big win, the NGA American Nationals. That victory was more than a trophy. It was proof that he had what it took to compete at a high level. For someone who grew up in such turbulent circumstances, holding that award in his hands meant not just an athletic triumph, but a deeply personal one. It was like telling himself and the world, "I can." 2 years later, in 1996, Kai stunned again. This time, he won the WNBF Pro Natural Worlds, a competition for athletes performing without banned substances. That title solidified his image as a gifted and determined competitor, capable of reaching the top through sheer discipline, training, and dedication. For many fans, this era defined Kai as the ultimate example of raw effort and perseverance in bodybuilding. Between 1997 and 1999, Kai pushed himself into even bigger challenges. He began competing in the NPC Team Universe, one of the most respected tournaments for athletes chasing that all-important pro card. After a few tries, he finally nailed it in 1999, earning his IFBB Pro card, his official passport into the professional bodybuilding world. That was a game-changing milestone, putting him among the elite who could battle on the sport's biggest stages. His pro debut came that same year at the World Amateur Championships in Slovakia. Despite showing huge potential, he didn't get the result he wanted, finishing in 4th place, a spot that left him frustrated. But instead of backing down, Kai made a choice. He needed to level up. If he wanted to shine with the best of the best, his physique had to reach an entirely new standard. That's when he made an unusual move. He stepped away from the stage. For a few years, Kai stayed out of competition, focusing on grueling training sessions, perfecting every detail of his physique, and building an even more jaw-dropping version of himself. It was a bold decision that showed his maturity and long-term vision. He didn't just want to be in the game, he wanted to dominate it. His comeback happened in 2005 at the New York Pro. After years of preparation, Kai returned determined, but the result wasn't what he had hoped for, a 14th place finish. To many, that might have looked like a failure. To Kai, it was just another stepping stone. Every setback became fuel to train harder and prove he truly belonged at the top. After years of refining his physique, Kai finally began reaping the rewards. Between 2007 and 2011, he rose to the spotlight, catching the attention of fans, judges, and the bodybuilding media. This was the era when he established himself as not just another competitor, but one of the most complete and charismatic athletes on the scene, a legend in the making. His first breakthrough came in 2007 when he won the Sean Ray Colorado Pro/AM Classic. That victory confirmed his strategy of taking time off to grow had paid off. 2 years later, in 2008, he lit up the stage again by taking home the New York Pro Trophy, a contest long seen as a showcase for rising stars. From that moment on, the name Kai Greene became synonymous with power and quality. But the peak of this phase came in 2009 and 2010, when Kai earned one of the greatest honors of his career, back-to-back Arnold Classic titles. He also took the crown at the Australian Pro Grand Prix. Receiving the trophy directly from Arnold Schwarzenegger himself wasn't just thrilling, it was symbolic. It felt like a passing of the torch, the legend of the past recognizing the brilliance of the new generation. That moment officially elevated Kai into another league. In 2011, he reinforced his presence by once again winning the New York Pro. With every victory, Kai proved he wasn't just about brute strength. His physique kept evolving, but he also had a unique identity in the way he performed. Unlike many athletes who simply hit their poses, Kai turned every show into a performance, a true spectacle. It was during this time that he crafted his unmistakable personal brand, the belief that bodybuilding was also an art form. His routines were choreographed, his poses filled with emotion, drama, and beauty. While others focused only on flexing, Kai made the audience feel something. This artistic style won him a loyal and passionate fan base that stuck with him through every step. Because of that originality, Kai picked up iconic nicknames. Fans called him the Predator, a nod to his intensity and striking appearance, and the People's Champ, a title that reflected the way he represented grit, resilience, and the fighting spirit of ordinary people. These weren't just slogans, they embodied who Kai was, on and off the stage. With his charisma and groundbreaking presence, Kai eventually stepped onto bodybuilding's biggest stage, the Mr. Olympia. His debut in 2009 already hinted at his potential, placing fourth in a fiercely competitive lineup. But starting in 2011, he began to seriously shake things up for the favorites. That year, he took 3rd place, proving he wasn't there just to show up. He was there to fight for the most prestigious title in the world. Starting in 2012, Kai's story reached an even more intense level. He became runner-up at the Mr. Olympia for 3 straight years, 2012, 2013, and 2014. In all 3 editions, he was defeated by Phil Heath, who went on to win 7 Olympias in total. That streak created one of the most iconic rivalries in modern bodybuilding history. Every year, fans couldn't wait to see Kai and Heath share the stage. knowing it would deliver unforgettable moments. The contrast between the two only added fuel to the fire. Phil Heath was seen as the perfect champion, with a physique that was ridiculously symmetrical and aesthetic, plus the backing of the Federation. Kai, on the other hand, symbolized the grind, the fight, the underdog, the people's champ, always cheered on by the crowd. Their clash wasn't just physical, it was emotional. It felt like a showdown between two completely different styles, two opposing philosophies of what bodybuilding should be. The most unforgettable moment of that rivalry came in 2014. During the Olympia prejudging, Kai and Heath went face-to-face in one of the most intense standoffs the sport had ever seen. They traded words, chest to chest, nearly breaking into a fight right there on stage. The images went viral worldwide, showing that this wasn't only about muscles, it was a full-on psychological war. That showdown turned the 2014 Olympia into one of the most talked-about editions of all time. Despite his heart, dedication, and the overwhelming support from fans, Kai never managed to dethrone Phil Heath and claim the Mr. Olympia title. But that didn't make him any less of a legend. In fact, it added to his mystique. Many still call him the greatest bodybuilder to never win the Olympia. And that label, instead of being a burden, only elevated his status. It showed that greatness isn't always measured by trophies, it's measured by impact. The Kai versus Heath rivalry became one of the last great dramatic storylines in modern bodybuilding. It was raw, emotional, and electric, a clash that defined an era and is still remembered as a turning point in the sport. You simply can't talk about recent Olympia history without bringing up those legendary battles between the Gift and the Predator. Kai may have never held the Sando in his hands, but his presence on stage, the intensity of his performances, and his epic rivalry with Phil Heath etched his name into the sport forever. If there's one contest that truly cemented Kai as an icon, it was the Arnold Classic. Often called the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world, right behind Mr. Olympia, it became the stage for some of his most memorable victories. In 2009 and 2010, he won back-to-back Arnold Classic titles, shocking the industry and proving he was ready to stand among the sports giants. Those weren't just wins. They were crowning moments for an athlete who fused strength, aesthetics, and pure artistry in his performances. Every time Kai stepped on the Arnold Classic stage, fans knew they were in for a show. He didn't just pose, he told a story. His routines carried emotion, expression, and intensity that went far beyond muscle display. The peak came in 2016, the year that also marked his farewell to competition. That season, he pulled off a historic feat, winning the Arnold Classic in 3 different countries: the US, Australia, and Brazil. That triple victory was the perfect capstone to his competitive career, proving he could still dominate even after years at the top. What made 2016 even more symbolic was the contrast with his absence from the Mr. Olympia stage. Many fans believe that after such a dominant Arnold Classic run, Kai might finally come back for one last shot at Phil Heath. But when he received a special invitation to the 2017 Olympia, bypassing qualification, he shocked everyone by turning it down. The decision sparked heated debates. Was it fear of losing again, frustration with the organization, or simply his own strategic choice? The truth is, since 2016, Kai has never competed again. And interestingly, he never officially announced his retirement. That silence created a cloud of mystery around him. Fans still speculate, wondering if the Predator has one last performance left in him. Every time he appears in public, still in incredible shape, the rumors flare up all over again. This post-2016 era showed that even without competing, Kai remained a central figure in bodybuilding. His physique still looked stage-ready, keeping the flame of hope alive among his supporters. After all, very few athletes walk away at their peak, leaving people to wonder what if. The Arnold Classic, in the end, became more than just a contest for Kai. It was his triumphant farewell. He stepped off the stage without ever saying goodbye, leaving behind a mystery that continues to fuel his legend today. But Kai's career wasn't built only on victories and applause. Like every major public figure, he also faced controversies that still spark heated debates among fans and critics today. Before becoming famous in the bodybuilding world, Kai went through severe financial struggles. To survive, He worked as a stripper in New York, trying to find ways to support himself during the instability of his youth. It was in that context that one of the most talked about scandals of his life emerged, an intimate video involving a grapefruit. The clip eventually leaked online and became the subject of jokes, criticism, and judgment. For some, it was nothing more than a desperate choice made during hard times. For others, it was a mistake that left a permanent mark on his image. Many believe that this episode was one of the reasons his reputation suffered behind the scenes at the Mr. Olympia. In the documentary Kai, 2022, the athlete himself addressed the issue with honesty. He explained that he did what he had to do to survive back then, and fellow athletes like Phil Heath and Victor Martinez defended him, condemning the excessive judgment. That moment revealed something important. Behind the impressive physique, there was a man just trying to stay on his feet through tough circumstances. Another major controversy hit in 2015, right at the peak of his career. That year, Kai was barred from competing at the Mr. Olympia, leaving fans shocked and frustrated. The reason, according to reports, was tied to his supplement company, Dynamic Muscle, which clashed contractually with Weider Publications, the organization behind the Olympia. For fans, it was as if one of the most anticipated chapters in bodybuilding had been abruptly cut short. The situation escalated when reports of lawsuits and contract breaches surfaced. It was alleged that Weider continued to use Kai's name and image even after their split, while the athlete himself was left unable to register for the sport's biggest event. To many, this was yet another sign that bodybuilding's backstage was riddled with politics and power plays. That 2015 absence fueled the belief that Kai Greene never won the Olympia not because of lack of talent, but because of external factors. Many fans argue that, without those issues and controversies, he would have claimed the coveted Sando Trophy in one of those years when he came so close to victory. In the end, these controversies only added to the aura of mystery surrounding his career. Kai isn't remembered solely for his muscles or artistic performances, but also for everything that kept him in the spotlight, even outside the stage. Still, Kai Greene built a career that went far beyond bodybuilding. He always made it clear that he saw the sport not only as competition, but also as art and personal expression. That vision opened doors in different fields, allowing him to become a multifaceted figure: athlete, actor, artist, and entrepreneur. His path broke past the walls of the gym and reached audiences far beyond bodybuilding fans. In the world of documentaries, Kai starred in several impactful productions. Overkill, 2010, and Redemption, 2010, gave fans a raw look into his contest prep and training philosophy. But it was Generation Iron, 2013, often described as the spiritual successor to Pumping Iron, that catapulted him to worldwide fame. The film's success led to appearances in Generation Iron 2 and Generation Iron 3, cementing him as one of the most recognizable figures in fitness cinema. In 2022, his own story took center stage in the documentary Kai, which revealed personal details and behind-the-scenes moments from his journey. His charisma and stage presence eventually caught the attention of film and TV producers. Kai made his acting debut in College Debts, 2015, playing a stripper in a role that echoed his own past. He later played a villain in the martial arts film Crazy Fist, 2018, showcasing his ability in action roles. But perhaps his most widely recognized appearance came in 2017 in Netflix's hit series Stranger Things, where he played the character Funshine. In 2021, he surprised fans again by appearing in the Indian action drama Pagaru, expanding his international reach even further. Beyond acting, Kai also made a name for himself as a visual artist. Passionate about drawing and painting, he held exhibitions and often showcased self-portraits. For him, bodybuilding was a form of living sculpture, and painting was simply an extension of that vision. In several interviews, Kai has said he considers his body a work of art in constant progress, reinforcing the idea that art has always been central to his life. On the business side, Kai didn't fall behind either. In 2015, he launched his own supplement brand, Dynamic Muscle, which quickly carved out a spot in the market. In 2016, he introduced his training program called 5P, based on his mantra, "Proper preparation prevents poor performance." He also collaborated with sportswear brands, even releasing signature clothing lines under his name. This versatility made Kai a one-of-a-kind figure. Very few bodybuilders have managed to expand their image across so many different areas. He didn't limit himself to the stage. He found creative ways to express himself, making it clear that his legacy wouldn't just be about muscle, but also about ideas, art, and innovation. Kai's legacy goes far beyond the competitions and titles. He became a true cultural icon within modern bodybuilding, setting trends and inspiring generations of athletes. One of the most symbolic parts of his image is the hoodie, the famous hooded sweatshirt. Kai wore it constantly in training, and it became his trademark look. The hood pulled over his head, partially hiding his face, created an aura of mystery and total focus, a style copied by millions of lifters around the world. But perhaps his greatest technical legacy lies in his training philosophy, known as the mind-muscle connection. Kai preached that bodybuilding wasn't just about mechanically lifting weights, but about feeling each muscle in action, as if the mind itself was directly controlling the body. This approach gave athletes a new way of looking at training, turning simple movements into conscious, intentional practice. How many lifters, after hearing his words, started asking themselves, "Am I just working out, or am I really connecting my mind to the muscle?" Kai's impact also came through his charisma and stage presence. On stage, he wasn't just a competitor, he was a showman. He blended strength, artistry, and emotion into every performance, turning his posing routines into unforgettable spectacles. That uniqueness made him stand out as someone who could captivate even people who weren't hardcore bodybuilding fans. Because with Kai, it wasn't just about muscles, it was about storytelling through the body. Even without winning the Mr. Olympia, Kai is remembered as one of the greatest names in the sport. To many, he proved that true greatness isn't measured only by trophies, but by how deeply you touch hearts and minds. That perception solidified his reputation as the people's champ, an athlete who embodied struggle, grit, and resilience. Away from the stage, Kai never stopped being relevant. He used his influence to build a strong career as an entrepreneur, launching supplements, sportswear, and training programs. He also became an active content creator, sharing reflections, training tips, and motivational messages with millions of followers on social media. That direct connection with fans expanded his reach and cemented his role as a source of inspiration. Today, Kai is seen as an icon of modern bodybuilding, someone who transcended the role of athlete and became a reference point for anyone pursuing discipline and self-mastery. His mix of athlete, artist, and philosopher places him in a unique space, able to connect with both hardcore gym-goers and the general public. Kai's legacy is, therefore, multidimensional, technical, philosophical, cultural, and deeply human. He left his mark on stage, popularized ideas and styles, and continues to serve as a guide and motivator. Even after so many years away from official competitions, Kai's name still resonates loudly in the bodybuilding world. Since 2016, when he last stepped on stage and claimed 3 Arnold Classic titles, fans and experts have speculated about a possible comeback. After all, unlike many athletes who retire visibly out of shape, Kai has kept an incredible physique, looking stage-ready at any time. That's what keeps the hope alive. Could the People's Champ still have one last performance hidden up his sleeve? In several recent interviews, between 2023 and 2025, Kai made it clear that he never considered his story finished. Instead of announcing an official retirement, he chose to keep the mystery alive. His statements are always ambiguous, sparking curiosity and fueling rumors. That strategy keeps his followers on edge, always searching for clues about his next move. And that brings us to the end of this incredible journey through the life of Kai Greene, an athlete who proved that bodybuilding can be much more than just muscle. It can be art, resilience, and pure inspiration. His story shows that even in the face of the toughest challenges, it's possible to turn pain into power and weakness into strength. But now I want to hear from you. What inspires you the most about the journey of the People's Champ? Do you think we'll ever see Kai Greene back on stage? Or has he already left behind the complete legacy he was meant to build? If this video inspired you, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the channel grow and reach more people. And if you'd like to support us even more, consider becoming a channel member. It's a special way to be part of our community and help us keep bringing you motivational stories like this one. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring you stories that combine sports, faith, resilience, and the people who left their mark on the world. It's free, and it makes a huge difference for our channel. I also want to invite you to jump into the comments. Share your thoughts on Kai Greene. Tell us if you've ever been inspired by his motivational quotes or training philosophy, and let us know if you'd like to see him make a comeback. Your participation is what keeps this space alive and full of energy. And don't go just yet. On the final screen, you'll find a special video I'm sure you'll want to watch all the way through. Click on it and keep going with this marathon of inspiring stories we've prepared for you. Kai Greene showed us that the body can be a work of art, but the greatest masterpiece is always the life we choose to build. So stay strong in your goals, never give up on your dreams, and remember, every step counts in your own journey of resilience. See you in the next video.